Hello and welcome to my latest weekly video news from Madison. So I thought I'd bring you a couple of rental stories this week. I know I focus on sales quite a bit. That's a bit of the business that I head up. My husband James heads up our lettings department. But I do always keep my eye on what's going on in the lettings market because it often does affect the sales market. And indeed, one thing that is being seen at the moment is this exodus of landlords, and that is affecting sales. There tends to be more older landlords who have just got a bit fed up actually with all the increasing legislation and of course more looking to come down the line. Labour government very keen to really enforce that Renters Reform Act, which would look at one of the big things it's going to propose doing is getting rid of the no-fault eviction, which is basically where a landlord can serve notice on their tenant, even if they're a good tenant, but they might want to sell the property, etc. They want to address all of that and make it more secure for tenants to stay in their home, and more increased legislation coming down the road. Obviously, it's got much more punitive on tax treatment. You don't have as much favourable tax treatment. And of course, what's happening with the whole EPC world. So the Conservative government set up a very ambitious target to have all rental homes within an A to C grading by 2030. That is looking like it is completely unachievable. You would currently about 115,000 homes a year are moving from a D to a C. That's the big category that's being affected. But in order to hit that target, that 115,000 a year would have to rise to 340,000 a year. And one of the big problems is many rental properties are up in the north of the country, which could give much, much stronger yields, which means you get a higher income from it. Maybe not so much capital growth, but a higher income. And quite simply, there isn't the value there to invest heavily in those properties to improve their energy efficiency. They're quite often older period properties, Victorian style houses that just fail straight away. And if you're going to invest 10,000 in it, but the house is only worth, say, 50,000 to begin with, as you can see, doesn't really make sense, even if you're getting a good income from it. Electric heating, the biggest issue on improving a property's EPC rating. So it's a big challenge, definitely. And I think a lot of those landlords are looking at that and just thinking, I've got to invest in this property to get to this EPC target. That's going to get even harder now that many of Conservatives' energy efficiency incentives they had in place have been abolished by Labour. So no more the grants, incentives to try and get there. Increasing legislation, Renters Reform Act coming down the line. So basically, and those older landlords, predominantly sort of in their retired age, thinking actually I could sell that property, help my children or my grandchildren get on the property ladder by giving them a nice deposit. Obviously, rising living costs could help them battle with those. And yeah, just a general sort of inheritance tax planning process. If they liquidize that asset, they could then do something with the money that would be a bit more IHT efficient. So what we are seeing though instead coming into the market are younger investors. So investors who are much more interested in, you have these things called build to rent, where you get these schemes of flats that are built mainly with their rental yield in mind, not to resell, but for investor landlords to come in. And those younger landlords looking more at buying in the north of the country, not too bothered about seeing the property, not wanting to manage it, very happy to hand it over to a good letting agent, but just take that yield. So because those new landlords are coming in, and also because there has been a pushback from tenants on rental prices, actually rental asking prices have stabilised. They went up 6.6% year on year over the last 12 months. That was up towards 10% at the beginning of the year on a year-on-year basis. So showing that tenants are pushing back and not prepared to keep paying high rents, and they are stabilising. And if those new landlords continue to come in, that supply will hold and we should be okay. So lots going on in the rental market. It does all affect the sales market in terms of what I see coming to market, of course. I've got quite a few properties on my books that have been very successfully rented out, but the landlords now, for a variety of reasons, just want to sell. Well, a little interesting story I saw in the world of the sales market was that there is a much greater appetite for downsizing to actually happen. It's really increased actually. Over 66s really recognising that they would like to downsize. Again, freeing up that equity to help out with children or grandchildren to get on the property ladder, maintaining those old properties, wanting more of a different lifestyle maybe in their retirement, something a bit more lock up and leave, living in the town centre. And so really addressing that. The biggest reason why downsizers, so this research cites that they want to leave, is the garden is too much for them, or they don't like the stairs in their house. So those are the biggest two reasons. Interestingly, the biggest reason that stops them doing it, so they cite, is just the sheer fear of sorting their stuff out in a house that has been a much beloved home for many, many years. I can understand that. Full of all that brown furniture and loads of paraphernalia, better to leave it to the estate to sort out. So that is the biggest fear that stops them sorting it out. And there's definitely a window, I think. If you feel energy and appetite to move, you need to move in that window, because as time goes on, it will all become increasingly overwhelming. Always my slightly more elderly clients really struggle with the process, both physically and emotionally. So if you sense that itchy feet coming, grab hold of it, because trust me, it will go, and you'll rather just stay put. Well, of course, lovely summer weather we're experiencing here in the town, which is great for all these events that we're seeing in the town. Wonderful Summerfest up at the Spa Hotel last week. Lots going on at the Pantiles this weekend. There was the Antiques Fair last weekend. There's the Food Festival this weekend. So do head on down here and enjoy everything. I've got so many properties coming to market. I'm getting everyone just to hold at the moment till the autumn market. So I'll be bombarding you with new listings soon. But if you want to chat through, if you're thinking of moving, want to chat through anything we might have coming to market, give us a call. Hope you have a great week. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.